December 20th. It started like any other day. The air was thick with the coming summer heat. I was at my desk, lazily scrolling through social media, when a message popped up on my phone. It was from Mizesh Mzwakali, an old friend from university. We hadn't spoken in months. He was going through a rough patch, kicked out by his fiancée, Quena, struggling to make ends meet. I felt a pang of sympathy. I should have known then. It was all a prelude. His messages grew increasingly desperate. He lamented his situation. He spoke of his deep love for his daughter, Lithalithu, a bright-eyed 4-year-old. Then, the message that sent chills down my spine. He revealed his plan, a plan so sinister, so outlandish, that my mind struggled to grasp it. He was going to kidnap Lithalithu. He wanted to take his daughter from Quena. He wanted to hurt her. He wanted ransom money. My stomach lurched. I read the message again and again, hoping the words would magically rearrange themselves into something less horrifying. But they didn't. My friend, the man I knew, was gone, replaced by a stranger consumed by darkness. I felt a surge of panic. My mind raced, trying to process this terrifying information. This wasn't a joke, this was real. My friend was planning a kidnapping, and his own daughter was the target. The weight of his confession pressed down on me. I knew I had to do something. But what? How do you report a friend to the police? How do you betray someone you once considered a brother? Yet how could I stand by and let an innocent child become a pawn in his twisted game? My mind was a battleground of conflicting emotions. Loyalty warred with my conscience. Fear battled with a burgeoning sense of responsibility. I couldn't just ignore this. A child's life was at stake. I knew I needed evidence, hard proof, something concrete to take to the authorities. So I played along. I feigned agreement, all the while documenting everything. Each text message, each phone call, each chilling detail of his plan. My phone became a weapon, a shield against the darkness that threatened to consume him and destroy an innocent life. The hours that followed were a blur of anxiety and adrenaline. I felt like I was living a nightmare. I barely slept, haunted by the image of Lithalithu's smiling face, the innocence that Mizesh was so ready to shatter. My every thought was consumed by the impending horror, the knowledge that I held a young girl's fate in my hands. The burden of his secret was suffocating, but I had to stay strong. I had to see this through, for Lithalithu, for Quena, for the sake of my own tattered conscience. Reaching out to the police felt like a betrayal, a violation of our friendship. But the thought of Lithalithu's terrified face spurred me on. I contacted a friend at the Rabasotho police station, my voice shaking as I recounted Mizesh's plan. I felt a wave of relief wash over me as I shared the burden, knowing that I was no longer alone in this fight. Next, I had to reach out to Quena. Telling her would shatter her world, I knew. But she deserved to know. She deserved the chance to protect her daughter. So with a heavy heart, I arranged to meet her at the Ivory police station. Seeing the fear and disbelief in her eyes as I told her about Mizesh's plan was heart-wrenching. Her world, like mine, had been turned upside down. Yet, amidst the fear, I saw a steely resolve in her eyes. She would do whatever it took to protect her child. We were united in our determination to stop Mizesh, to shield Lithalithu from the darkness that threatened to engulf her. Together, we provided the police with the evidence I had painstakingly gathered. It felt like handing over a weapon, a tool that could be used to stop a monster in his tracks. It was the only weapon I had, and I prayed it would be enough. The days that followed were agonizing. The wait for news, for justice, was unbearable. I was a prisoner of my own guilt and fear, haunted by the knowledge of what Mizesh planned to do. I barely slept, my dreams plagued by images of Lithalithu, her laughter replaced by terrified screams. Then the unthinkable happened. My younger sister, Dimfo Chantel, vanished. One moment she was there, a vibrant young woman full of life and laughter. The next she was gone. She had told us she was going to my bachelor apartment on the night of February 3rd, 2025, but she never arrived. Panic seized me. My phone slipped from my grasp, clattering onto the floor like a morbid metronome ticking away precious seconds. My mind raced, a whirlwind of horrifying possibilities. Had she been in an accident? Had she run away? Or had something far more sinister happened? The police were sympathetic, but their words felt distant, hollow. They were just going through the motions, treating it like a simple missing persons case, but deep down I knew, I felt it in the marrow of my bones. This was no coincidence. This was Mizesh.